Alejandro Membrillo, Milenio. Hi, Lindsey. I'm very, very happy to be today speaking with you. I hope you are well.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to talk to you today. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations on this movie. I know it's a very exciting project. So, first of all, I would love to know about the experience of reading this script. I don't know if you had the chance of talking with Stephen King previously, but Judd Crandall being the main character, I think it's a fantastic choice. Um, but what were the key elements that you wanted to have in this prequel?
There was a lot that I wanted in this prequel. I loved Pet Cemetery growing up, and it was the first Stephen King book that I read. But I had so many questions that I always wanted to answer. So I felt like, it was a long time coming where I just got to answer any question that I had about Pet Cemetery. And I just kept thinking, what as a fan did I always want to see more of? And certainly that's Judd and that's Timmy. And Judd in the movies is played so brilliantly by both Fred Gwynne and then John Lithgow. So it was to me just exciting to tell more of his story. And the end of the book says that Judd is the guardian of the woods. And that's not really suggested in any of the movie adaptations. We don't know that. We know that he's sitting on the porch and he's smoking and he's drinking, but it was so fun to me to think about, okay, is he on watch? What is he watching for? And then it got my mind going further about, was his father and his father's father sitting on that same porch, and what was Judd as a younger man like, and all piecing all of that together was so fun.
Thank you. So, as a fellow fan of Stephen King stories and especially Pet Sematary, I wanted to ask you about something. And I've always felt that it's hard to adapt Stephen King's stories to the screen because there's something about how he writes horror that is unique and personal to him. But this being a little far away from the main book or the main story, was it possible for you to create a perfect mix between what you wanted as a director and the classic Stephen King feel?
Yeah, I think that doing a prequel allows liberty in terms of bringing my own perspective to things, but I also really tried to honor the spirit of the book, both in terms of the themes and the tone. I think that the book is so much about, what would you do for somebody you love, and also that really kind of brutal confrontation of death and our darkest impulses. So that I wanted to keep alive and honor, but also really important to me was honoring the tone of the book, which is a mishmash of genres. It's a human drama, it's funny, it's scary as hell. There are moments of intense gore. It's a lot of different things together. And so walking that line was very important to me and preserving that in this film.
Thank you. I'm sure you know that we as Mexicans have a very special relationship with the concept of death. So my question comes from that background, and I want to know there's another theme in the movie that says something like it's better to that some things stay dead. So how do you feel about this idea and this concept? And also, do you think that these movies, this universe, have another profound message about death?
Yeah, the message of sometimes dead is better, I think is a true one, at least within the confines of this story in terms of what the what, what you have to compare that to. But I think it's such an important story about grief and accepting our mortality and accepting that loss is a part of life. And I think that that's why stories like this are so important, and why a lot of horror stories are important. Not just to kind of confront our darkest impulses, but to confront the darkest truths about life. And the darkest truth about life is that life only ends one way, and that's in death. And it's really hard to accept. And I think that's why Pet Cemetery really strikes a chord in people, an intense one, whether it's positive or negative. It's just like people react strongly to that notion of sometimes dead is better.
Thank you, Lindsay. My final question is, and if I'm not mistaken, This is your debut as a director. So, what was the hardest part for you to make this story alive in the screen? And how was working with such an experienced cast too?
Yeah, it was a wonderful mix of experienced and fresher faces, and they were all wonderful and really collaborative on their characters. The hardest part was our schedule was really intense. We had the same schedule as the 2019 film, which only had a couple of locations and actors, and we have a lot of locations and a lot of actors. So every day was just such an intense challenge, but everyone rose to the challenge every day. And
Would you like to tackle another Stephen King story in the future?
I mean, I love Stephen King. There's nothing specific that I have my eyes set on, and I've been so focused on this movie that you know that this is still what takes up all my brain space. But never say never.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for your time. Congratulations on the film, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Have a nice day. Bye.